Well, hello, welcome to my kitchen. I'm making Christmas brownies today, and the reason why I call them Christmas brownies is because I only make these once a year, and that's during the Christmas season. These are also called grasshopper brownies or creme de mint brownies, and they're absolutely delicious and they're perfect for this time of year. They have 3 layers: a brownie layer, a cream cheese layer, and then a rich chocolate layer that finishes it off, and it is absolutely spectacular. Now I'm starting out with just a packaged brownie. I've got Duncan Hines Chewy brownie mix. I did boost the flavors of this a little bit. I added a 1/4 cup of cocoa powder, and then I substituted melted butter, salted butter for the oil. And that just gives these brownies a little richer, chewier flavor with that butter in. You cannot go wrong. Butter makes everything better, hands down. Now, I baked my brownies in a 9 by 13 baking dish, and I've allowed these to cool completely. I can't tell you how hard it was to keep my husband out of these brownies. He wanted to tear into them the minute he smelled them cooking. I said, oh, just wait a little bit. We've just got a little bit longer and you can have all you want. But these are completely cooled and they're ready to go. Now I'm gonna make our cream cheese layer. And I've got a stick of butter and a 1/2 of a block of cream cheese. And these have been sitting out for a little while, so they're nice and soft. And that's going right into my mixing bowl. I'm not using my big mixer for this. There's no reason. This is easy peasy. So I'm just gonna mix these together. There we go. I forgot to put my wax paper out today. Now this is 2.5 cups of powdered sugar. And that powdered sugar is going right into my mixing bowl. And I'm gonna mix this again until all the powdered sugar is blended with my butter and cream cheese. That is just right. All the powdered sugar is blended in and is nice and creamy. Let's see if I can do this. There we go. Oh. Now comes the mint. Now, I'm not using creme de mint, which is commonly used in these brownies. I'm using mint extract, and this can be eliminated, like I said, no problem at all, and they are delicious. I'm using a teaspoon, and that goes right into my mixture. Now, what gives this its beautiful green coloring is food coloring, of course. And the recipe calls for 5 drops, but I usually add just a little bit more because I really love that deep, dark Christmas color of green. So I'm going to use 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And I'll mix this up and I'll see if I want any more. Here's the color that I have with 7 drops. I'm going to add 2 more just because I like that really dark green. This is more like a mint green. I just want it a little darker because I want it to say Christmas. This smells so good. That mint is so refreshing. I love a good peppermint patty. I just think that that's the perfect little bite of something after you eat. And this is rich and decadent, but at the same time, it's refreshing because of the mint. Now look at this. This has just made a beautiful cream cheese frosting. And it's going right on top of our brownies. My dad's side of the family loves these. The first time that I ever had them, I can't remember if it was my Aunt Nancy or Beth, my dad's oldest sister and youngest sister. I'm not sure which one made them, but I fell in love with them, and I've been making them ever since. Now I'm going to spread this to the edges of my brownies, and I want a nice smooth layer. This is just right. Now I need to let this harden back up. I had softened cream cheese and softened butter. So I'm going to put this in the refrigerator and let it sit for at least 30 minutes and maybe a little bit longer. And in the meantime, we're going to start making our delicious fudgy chocolate topping. Oh my goodness. That is so good. It almost tastes like the chocolate chip mint ice cream. Oh, it's just perfect, perfect, perfect. Okay, I'll put this in the refrigerator, clean up a little bit, and we're gonna start on step number 3. Well, my brownies are in the refrigerator cooling, and now it's time to make this delicious chocolate layer. Now I'm starting with 1 cup of granulated sugar. That goes right in a heavy bottomed saucepan. And next, I'm adding a 1/2 cup of whole milk. You can also use evaporated milk. That works really, really well in this recipe. And I've got 1/3 cup of salted butter. And that goes right in. And then last but not least, I have some unsweetened chocolate. And 1 ounce goes into this recipe. Now the chocolate comes in these little squares, and there's 4 squares. And that's going right in. I've got my heat set to a medium high. And I am going to stir this and let everything melt, my butter and my chocolate. And then I'm going to bring this to a good rolling boil. I'm going to boil it for 1 minute and then take it off the heat, and we're done. Everything is nice and melted. All I'm waiting for now is for it to boil. Well, my chocolate cooked for its minute and it's done. Just want to make sure that you stir the entire time that it's boiling, because you don't want the bottom to scorch or for it to stick. Now, the waiting game starts again. I need to let this cool, not completely, but if I were to pour this on our cream cheese layer right now, that would be a catastrophe. So every few minutes, I'm gonna walk by this and I'm gonna give it a nice little stir. And it'll take maybe 15 or 20 minutes for it to get to the consistency that we want for our brownies. And I'll see you back here when this is done. This is coming along perfectly. Now it's time to add the vanilla. You don't want to add the vanilla when this is too hot, because it'll cook all the vanilla flavor out because it's alcohol. So I'm going to add about a teaspoon. That might have been a little more than a teaspoon. and stirring that right in. If you hear that noise, which I feel like you probably do, we are not raising pigs. That is Honey's favorite toy. It's a little squeaky pig and it makes a oink oink noise. And I'm telling you what, that dog loves that toy. I've got about 5 more minutes and then we're ready to top our brownies. My cream cheese layer has cooled perfectly. It smells so good. And when I take my finger and I touch it, nothing sticks to my finger. That lets me know that it's ready. So here we go with this delicious chocolate. I'm gonna pour that all over. This is one of our favorites. This recipe is used for our chocolate cake. You can look that up on my yellow cake with my chocolate frosting. Just a couple of more steps and this makes a delicious frosting. I have to save that for later. Now, just go ahead and start spreading this until you get a nice, even layer. Just make sure that you work really gently because you don't want to penetrate that cream cheese. Now, this is ready to go. And the last weight goes in place. This needs to sit until this chocolate has hardened completely. It's almost going to make like a fudge layer. And after that, we'll cut into these and I'll show you just how beautiful and delicious they are. There's nothing better than this frosting. Look at that. My husband might like a bite of that when he comes in. Well, this is going back in the refrigerator and I'll see you in a little bit. Well, my brownies are ready and don't they look beautiful? This is only a few of them. I still have at least a half of a pan left and I think they're so pretty. And I can say that I can hardly wait to take a bite of these. Look at this. You don't want to cut really large pieces because these are rich brownies and a little goes a long way. But look at that pretty green layer and that shiny top and that fudgy brownie. Oh my goodness. There is no way to put into words how good this is. It tastes like chocolate chip mint ice cream with fudge on top of it made into a brownie. Oh, you have got to make these this Christmas. Your family is gonna love them. You know, wow. I've been cutting these. I've heard my husband pull up from work and I know that he is really going to be excited that he finally gets to tear into these brownies. You have a great day. Thanks so much for watching. You're a blessing to me and stay tuned for more treats. I'll see you next time. Bye.